I'm Mohammed Razvi. I'm the executive director and founder of Council of People's Organization, which is known as COPO, and formerly was Council of Pakistan Organization. I was born in Pakistan, and my parents came here to fulfill their American dream for prosperity, and I got here when I was about 6 years old. Well, basically, I grew up here in the Sheepshead Bay area in the projects, and it was just like one of the only South Asian kids in that block. And I went through my childhood with many different community members. Came here also to fulfill their American dream. I mean, people who were from Albania, Yugoslavia, from Israel, people who were from Russia, and other individuals who were from the Caribbean and Puerto Rico. Basically, what I do is I develop businesses which is needed within the community. For example, with my dad, I've been working very hard initially, opening up one of the first ethnic grocery stores on this block. Honestly, the ethnic mom and pop stores are the first social service agencies. And people have to understand that. That mom and pop store is the place where a guy who's been working for a week hasn't gotten his paycheck and asks him, yo, can I take some food on credit? That ethnic store or that mom and pop store is the place when a person who has a problem with his child asks first, I have a problem with my kid in the school. So because of that trust, and that's the key word, trust, that we have within the community for over 30 years now, right after 9/11, about 500 community members within about, I would say, 2 weeks were picked up within this neighborhood. People started coming to us. My husband's arrested, my son's arrested, my cousin's arrested. What do I do? So we opened up the doors, and what's supposed to be a temporary, outlet to help the community members turned out to be something that, continued. We had many lawyers. We had clinics that were happening right here in this office. I mean, we had hundreds and hundreds of individuals seeking those services. So the FBI requested me to go partake in one of these citizenship programs. Whenever I received a phone call or received a fax that a person was missing and they don't know where their loved ones is, I was able to make a phone call and request the federal authorities, look, this person's missing. Do you have them? And they would tell me yes or no, and then they would tell me where he's stationed at. COPO is one of the key organizations that are at the forefront with working with the law enforcement agencies to have community members being taught on what's a hate crime, how do you go about reporting it. For example, inside one of these fast food restaurants, the manager called that person who was Mohammed, they called him a Bin Laden's son, what are you doing? They started making these types of slurs. It really affected people in their workplace, and they really didn't know what else to do, but many of them quit their jobs. Then people started coming up with the other problems. Bullying problems. Many people came to me and explained to me how their kids were being harassed in schools, how they were being harassed on the street. So we worked with the Mayor's Office of Immigrant Affairs and New York City Commission on Human Rights to come up with a huge discrimination survey. And it elaborated on that over 83% of individuals did not seek help. And it was mind-boggling. People were afraid to come forward. I mean, right after September 11, we had gunshots fired all over these storefronts that you can see outside. The community itself was living in fear from our fellow Americans. And when I started this office itself, many community members were predominantly Pakistanis. One of the first volunteers that I had was an Indian, not only Indian, but a Hindu. And he was my first person who I hired. It gave a different perception to the community members. Now, here's Pakistan, here's India, opposite side of the spectrum, Muslim and Hindu. Oh, so other people do care. Then I hired a Christian. I hired a Jew. Then with programs that I was doing, for example, for the kids, got other community members also involved. Started the first the Muslim and Jewish basketball. wanted to show you the pictures of these kids playing, because it shows kids are playing different games from different communities. Like the South Asian kids, they'd never seen what's a piñata. This was another program where kids were expressing on, what they want to be and so forth. Many of them wanted to become law enforcement agents. It's because they were seeing all these pictures inside television at that time. So you want to be a policeman? Yes. I want to be a fire department. There were so many of these kids. When I was growing up, people went from calling me from Mohammed to Mo. And I felt it's all right. It's no big deal. But the unfortunate part was this. As I'm an adult, as I was helping the people, I literally had to call myself Mo in order to get help and services for these community members that are coming to me. My card stated Mo Razvi on it. And recently I said, no, my card is going to state Mohammed Razvi.